are Locked On Seminoles, your daily podcast on the Florida State Seminoles, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome back to another edition of Locked On Seminoles. What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Drew Jake Rogers, up in the building, and today is Saturday, so you know what day it is. You know what time it is. I am joined by the Vice President of the United States Units right here, Mr. Danny Domino, a.k.a. Antoine Daniel L. Danny, what's going on, beautiful? I love the haircut, by the way.
Thank you. My girl Sean Lee hooked me up at Supercuts today, so got to give her a special shout out too. But been good, man. How you been?
Guy, you would be a Supercuts guy. You and Parker, I swear, man. I no hate Supercuts. You're looking good right now, but
I just go in, get it cut. If I'm going to a wedding or something, I do have a barber.
Okay.
But if I just need a quick little touch up and get it done, Supercuts never a wait, man. Just go in and out 20 minutes.
Yeah, and that's why I don't go. We're not here to slander the good name of Supercuts. We're here to thicken up your wallets as the thick boys. The tribunal of thickness is back after a solid week overall. And you know what? Without further ado, Danny, take us to your first place on your card.
All right, perfect. I'm actually going to start with a trend that's been pretty common on the show. You got me on it a few weeks ago. I'm going to start with North Texas minus 10.5. Strictly the only reason is they're playing Florida International, who is a terrible football team. I don't know if anyone read the article that came about their budget and what equipment they have and stuff like that. That program is in a lot worse shape than people thought. And the funny thing is, I think they're like 2-24 since they beat Miami a couple years ago.
They are,
which talks about another thing. But that's I'm just going to start off quick with the Mean Green minus 10 against the Florida International Golden Panthers. I think that's a pretty easy one.
Yeah, I think it's easy. I'm not going to delve any deeper than that, but I am riding with you on this. And actually, folks, it's now a minus 10, so it's actually even more favorable odds in our favor. So, folks, take North Texas minus 10 and ride with the boys. Danny, what's up next, my guy?
I'm going to keep it with the fade technique here to start. I'm going up to Boise, Idaho, minus 27.5 against New Mexico. New Mexico is worse than Florida International, which I didn't even know was possible. They average under 2 touchdowns a game. They average under 250 yards of offense per game. They're not going to be able to do anything against this Boise State defense. In their last 5 games, they've been averaging 10.2 points. I'm keeping on the fade trade here. Boise State minus 27. They still have a chance to make the Mountain West title game. I watched his team in person a couple weeks ago at Fresno State. They're a lot better than their record shows. I expect this game's going to get ugly pretty quick.
Yeah, New Mexico and New Mexico State, I think they have like a monopoly on bad football programs because both those teams actually are pretty damn bad. And
terrible.
Boise State, they're a decent team. I think Andy Avalos is actually a decent head coach after he replaced Brian Harsin, who left there to go ahead be the head coach over at Auburn now. And quite honestly, even though I think 27, like most people will be afraid of the high of a number, especially in Group of 5. I actually think that Group of 5 numbers that large actually are more profitable than the bigger games like we're going to talk about later on in the show. So, folks, I'm with Danny. Be right with Danny as well if you like. Take Boise State at minus 27. And so far, Danny, we've been agreeing on everything, so maybe we can get a little spicier up in here real quick.
We get a little spicier. You don't want to double down. I'm going to spoil one of my 6-shooter plays with this because I think this is where you're going with the odds here. I absolutely love this Ohio State team. Them minus 9. In fact, take them out of my 6-shooter. This is one of my regular plays now.
Yes,
I don't even want them in my 6-shooter. Ohio State minus 19. They're going to blow the doors off this Spartan team. This game is going to be a 35-point game. This Ohio State team is rolling. Their defense has gotten so much better the second half of the year. Michigan State, I don't know if Jalen Naylor's even playing this game, who's their best wide receiver. They do pose problems with Kenneth Walker, but Ohio State, this passing offense, that trio of wide receivers is disgusting, and Michigan State's DBs give up over 300 yards per game, and they're coached by the former Florida State defensive coordinator, Harlan Barnett. And I know your feelings on him. So I love taking Ohio State minus 19 in the shoe at noon. This game is not going to be close. Also, the over 69.
Nice.
Always got to take that over, man. Always got to.
Yeah, as a cardinal rule, you take the over 69 in that kind of game. You're right. The boys are at odds with their odds. And primarily, we talked about this last week. I am a big believer, whether it's justified or not, in prime look-ahead spots. You know what game is next week for Ohio State?
It's not a look-ahead spot, man.
I know, but still,
it's a top 10 matchup.
It's a top 10 matchup, but who do they play next? Who do they answer the question?
They play Michigan.
They play Michigan, right?
You want to hear my real hot take of the Big Ten?
Hey, say it.
Penn State and Ohio State are bigger rivals now than Ohio State and Michigan. It's not a rivalry when one team doesn't compete with the other in recruiting, in national rankings, in the games, nothing. Ohio State's biggest competition in the Big Ten is Penn State.
All right, we'll discuss this a little more off camera because I actually do like this conversation a lot, but I disagree with you primarily because most alumni are on record. People that I know that, went to Michigan or went to Ohio State, they would rather lose every single damn game and then beat their rival, Ohio State. Like, that's the big game to all of them with that. And if we're also being honest, if you look at, past years, neither Ohio State nor Michigan has covered the game before. And to me,
no, that's a good stat.
To me, 19 is such a high number to cover. If this was like in the teens, like maybe a 10, maybe even 13, I probably would be with you on that side. But almost 3 separate touchdowns? Absolutely not. So I'm going with the mean green over the real mean green with Mel Tucker. He's got 95. He's got 95 million reasons why to keep this game close. So, folks, the boys are at odds with their odds. Ride with Danny at Ohio State minus 19. Ride with your boy at Michigan State plus 19. And before we go to the next one, Danny, say your piece and take us to the next one.
Yeah, he doesn't have 95 million reason not to. My man just got paid. It's not like, hey, you beat Ohio State, you get this 10-year 95 million.
No. I'm saying he's got 95 million reasons to prove he's worth that money.
My man got paid. He's out. He doesn't care if he covers his
game. I mean, that's true too, man. He's earned that crap. He's a damn good head coach, man. You're right. You're right. But it sounded good in the moment, Danny. It sounded good in the damn moment. Okay.
And the other thing that scares me.
Ruin my flow. Okay.
Hey, I'll back you up on this. The one thing that does scare me with the game with Michigan next week. Michigan actually is good this year, which is a change. Ohio State does have 2 freshmen in the backfield. They got C.J. Stroud and Travion Henderson.
Even though I do think C.J. Stroud's pretty good.
Oh, I think they're both incredible.
No, they're awesome.
But they're still freshmen.
Exactly.
So I can see where you're going with it, but I think this Ohio State team is rolling. They remind me a lot, and I'm not comparing the teams, but they're rolling just like Notre Dame's rolling, and I don't see anyone stopping them.
Okay. I can feel
and
that.
I love Ryan Day, so.
You do love Ryan Day, but listen, we're not here to belabor the point here. Where are we going to go off to next, my guy?
Oh, you know what? We were just disagreeing there.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we agree on this one?
I can meet you in the middle, my guy. What do you got for me?
Why don't you tell us where we're going?
All right, folks. As you know, there was a certain team out there, certain group of 5 Conference USA squad known as the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers that I had put out in the graveyard because, quote unquote, to myself, as a bankroll builder, the only thing they built was the debt I owed to betonline.ag, which, folks, is a fine thing. It's a great company, great organization. We love them. Thank you for sponsoring the show. But the past 2 weeks, and also for those bankroll builders, we took the money line, and they have covered the spread in a majority of their games this season. And now I am screaming Bailey Zapp's name. I am promoting Tyson Helton to go to another school because he is a damn good head coach, a damn good offensive coordinator, offensive mind. And to me, the double down for this weekend is Western Kentucky minus 10.
Telling you what, it's great to have you on the hilltop with me.
I feel like I've joined a cult with you now, my guy. I mean, you got the shaved head, the big beard, bro. Look at this going on.
I love these guys, man. Man, Florida Atlantic, their last two games, they lost at Old Dominion by 14, who Old Dominion's not a great squad, even though I've been hyping them up on the podcast. And they lost to Marshall by 15. Those are their last two games. Last week, they had to travel up to Virginia and Old Dominion. So this is back-to-back pretty big travel weeks as well. I'm not sure how much that's going to play into it. But Western Kentucky's 5-1 in Conference USA. Their only losses to the Roadrunners. And it was a 6-point game that they probably could have and should have won. Their 5 conference wins have been coming by 24 points per game. I believe it's 23.6. Their smallest win's been by 15. You can't stop this offense. You can only hope to slow it down. And Florida Atlantic has a terrible, terrible pass rush. They're not going to create any pressure. Bailey Zapp is going to shred them. I don't even think this game's close. I think this game is 24 points. 48-24. That's what I'm calling. 48-24.
You calling a shot?
I'm calling my shot.
I would say probably up most, probably like a 17-point win. I can definitely see 38-21, maybe a 42-24 kind of game. I think it's going to be kind of that kind of style, but you're right. And also, folks, as you know, we're very well versed in Willie Taggart. Willie Taggart is a very, very different coach away from home. It's kind of like we know when a baseball player is a Colorado Rocky, he leaves Coors Field and his power numbers plummet, his on-base percentage plummets, slugging goes down. That's the same way when Taggart leaves Paradise and Boca Raton. So, folks, the official double down of the week is Western Kentucky, minus 10.5. I can't believe I'm screaming the Hilltoppers from the top of this mountaintop, but I am there. I will die. I am going to die on this hill for this double down with my boy Danny, a.k.a. the cult leader behind the WKU Hilltoppers, Bailey Zapp. Unite us all at Western Kentucky, minus 10.5.
And they need this to clinch their spot in the Conference USA title game. This is all gas, no brakes right here. All gas, no brakes.
No brakes. Danny, where are we out to next, baby?
I'm going to stay in Conference USA here. Another favorite that needs to win to clinch a spot in the Conference USA title game. And I'm going with the Roadrunners. Meet. UTSA minus 4.5. They did struggle a little bit last week against an absolutely terrible Southern Miss team, but I believe it's because it was a look-ahead spot, even though I don't really believe in them. I know you do, so I'll play to your strengths there. I think they are legit. I would love for them to get a chance if some other teams messed up in front of them to get a New Year's Six invite. I know they're not going to, but McCormick, their running back, is as good as a running back, except maybe Kenneth Walker and Travion Henderson in the country. And the big thing here is they're going to make UAB throw the ball. UTSA gives up less than 90 yards rushing per game. When you can make a team one-dimensional like that, it does make it a whole lot easier. Give me the Roadrunners, 4.5, punching their ticket to the Conference USA title game. Can't wait to watch the Roadrunners do their thing.
I'm not going to go any further other than I was saying that this team was the crown jewel of Conference USA. I mean, yes, they are.
Not until they win it. Not until they win it.
No, you're right. But right now, it's trending in that direction. I love this team. I think Jeff Traylor is a great head coach, even though I do think that he needs to springboard this to a bigger job because I'd love to see what he would do with a lot more talent around him. But this team is no joke. This team is great. And UAB, to me, this line kind of smells funny to me. I ain't gonna lie to you a little bit. I think it's
funky line.
It's a funky line, and let's just take advantage of it. So, folks, ride with the boys and take the Roadrunners at minus 4.5 with UTSA.
Hey, I'm just saying, if Western Kentucky and UAB UTSA both win this weekend, we get a rematch. And I'm going to be all on the Hilltoppers, baby. Calling my shot now.
I'm already predicting an odds. I'm already predicting odds with the boys right now.
I might go to the USA Conference title game. I might.
Bro, where's that game? Where's that game at?
I think it's a home field game.
If it's a home,
so that would be in San Antonio. Nice little boys trip out of it, huh?
Folks, we might have to we need to reconvene probably and discuss how we're going to make that trip happen. But folks, we're not only here for that game, we're here for more games as well. Danny, do you have anything else in your card?
I do. I got my bankroll builder. I'm going to keep this one nice, short, and sweet. We're going up to Chestnut Hill.
Of course we are.
Taking the Noles. Boston College has a great pass defense. Florida State doesn't really unfortunately have too many people on the outside that put fear into you. Maybe the 4th and 14 got Andrew Parchment going. Norvell's been talking about he had his best week of practice, individual plays. Malik McLean's been balling out. But I just – Phil Jerkovich, or however you say his name, he's a good quarterback, but he hasn't been in it a whole lot. And, I mean, if you look at it, I was telling you before this, he threw for 300 yards against Georgia Tech. It was on 13 completions. My man averaged like 24 yards of completion. That's not sustainable. Their only big playmaker is Zay Flowers. Trey Berry's decent. He torched Florida State when he was at Jacksonville State last year. But they just don't scare me. That defensive line is going to be hyped up. And the senior leadership that Jermaine Johnson and Kier Thomas is going to bring, knowing what they can do to get to a bowl game, that they need to get through this Boston College game and get to a bowl game. They've both been on record talking about their legacy. They want to show the youngins how it's done. I'm expecting huge games, as always, from Jermaine Johnson. Big game from Kier Thomas as well. And I expect the Noles to win this one pretty comfortably, actually. I think they're the far superior team.
So I do think we're going to win this game. So I'm agreeing with you with the FSU +2. I don't know about the comfortably part, because I do think that Phil Dracovic actually probably is. If he was fully healthy, he's probably the best quarterback in the ACC.
I don't think he's been sacked this year.
I will say their offensive line is interesting. We sat down with AJ Black from Locked On BC. So folks, if you want to check that out either on the YouTube page or wherever you get your podcast from, we had on Friday for our Know Your Foe series, where their offensive line has been very. They're decent, and they're graded out really well per PFF. But I ask him because, I'm one of those people that, PFF only tells a certain part of the story because it's very opinion. It's opinion based, and he said they've been very underwhelming, especially on the left side. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see Jermaine on that side of the ball. And like you said, their pass defense is really good. We don't pass the ball that often. In fact, their defense has been gashed by running QBs, whether it be Garrett Schrader or Malik Cunningham. And folks, if you watched that game last night, by the way, I suggest watching the highlights of him last night. He ran for 224 yards.
That was the easiest. Minus 20 was the easiest money I've ever made.
Oh my God. We cashed that out. It was a fat payday. But to me, this team is built to beat a Boston College team. And also, like I said, all week, this is where Jordan Travis was introduced to the world. He ran for 94 rushing yards, 2 TDs, one being a 66-yard run, and another one being a 26-yard run. And this is when it comes full circle. I fully expect JT13 to show out once again in Chestnut Hill. So, folks, bankroll builder, thicken up your wallets with thick boys with FSU +2, FSU +110 the money line. And you know what? If you want the total, check it out. I don't know the number right now in front of me, but because it keeps moving. But take FSU +2 and money line for Danny's bank.
I would be if you're touching the total, I'd go under.
Yeah, I completely agree with the same thing. Actually,
I'd go under. I think Florida State's going to run the ball at will, and I think it's going to be like a 24-14 type game.
Yeah, I agree with that, folks. The under is actually at 55, so you know what? I will add that to my card right now.
Add it to my card, under.
Yep. All add to the card, all three separate ways. We have FSU, just like we did against Miami, too. So, folks, that is the bank roll builder. Florida State Noles take down Boston College in Chestnut Hill. And Danny, I think it's about that time we let some dogs out.
I think so. I'm gonna switch it up here. On my paper, I have Missouri as my super dog. I'm going to Wake Forest. +4.5. I don't know that Clemson can score with them. I know they can't, Wake Forest can win
It's
the.
at +4, by the way. Just a heads up, it moved.
That's fine. Not even better. That would have been dumb to say. I think Wake Forest, Dave Clawson, most underrated coach in America. I just think they win this game. I like the +4. Getting the field goal. Clemson's defense is disgustingly good, but their offense is disgustingly bad. Wake Forest, I think clinching the division title at a place like Clemson to those seniors and those dudes who have been there for a while help build up this program. I think this is too big of a spot. I think Clemson sort of cashed out. They're not playing for anything in Clemson standards. None of them are excited to go to the Gasparilla Bowl or whatever bowl they're going to go to. I think Wake Forest +4. Lock it up right now.
So, folks, I'm on Locked on ACC actually every single Friday, and we do have a betting segment on there that I get the privilege of doing with Candace Cooper. And to me, this is probably the biggest no-brainer of the week because of everything Danny said. And because Wake's offense, when Sam Hartman is on, it lights you up. Clemson's defense is very good, but just the opposite. Clemson's offense the entire year has been abysmal, whether it be play calling, whether it be skill players, and also – for those of you that don't know, Justin Ross, the leading wide receiver of that team, is out for the rest of the year. So, quite frankly, I think this is a steal for +4. And like Danny said, Dave Clawson's probably one of the best coaches out there. Now, there may be some rumors of him leaving for a bigger job. He's not going anywhere. So, to me, this is a big game for them, for the seniors to win out. I think it means a lot for Sam Hartman, for Fox, for Jasir Taylor. So, to me, Wake Forest +4 is the super dog and almost double down for me too, but I think super dog is the right play here.
And the scary thing is they put up 45 last week on a decent NC State team, and Jacory Roberson had 2 catches.
Yep. And they did it without the starting line.
He killed me in my fantasy playoffs. Killed me. Absolutely killed me. But the fact that they put up 45 and he only had 2 catches is
and legit. They did that without their starting running back. So if y'all didn't think this offense was legit after that game, I have nothing else to tell you because this is probably the best Wake Forest team I think we've ever seen.
Orange Bowl team.
This is an Orange Bowl team. This is a top 10 team. This could be a CFP team if not for some hijinks over UNC. But folks, take the super dog, let the dogs out with the boys with Wake Forest +4. And Danny, I think our time unfortunately has come to an end, but we would be remiss if we didn't put our 6-shooters in the air and fire them off. Danny, let me know when you're ready to go with your 6-shooter.
I'm ready. Give me a countdown.
All right, you're ready to go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, give me Notre Dame -17. Did some foreshadowing earlier in the episode. This Notre Dame team's rolling. Georgia Tech cannot go to a bowl. They lost all motivation. Notre Dame -17. Give me Missouri +8.5. Florida is not good. I hope they lose by 70. Give me Purdue -11. I think Purdue can score 14 and Northwestern might not score 3. That's 11. Give them to me. Kent State team total over. You're looking at about 42 here. They're playing Akron. This game is going to be in the 50s and the 30s. Love that team total. Anything under 45, take it. Give me the Beavs from Corvallis +3 against Arizona State. Love them here. Big time. And then give me biggest game of the weekend. Give me Utah -3 at home against Oregon. Clinch up the Pac-12 South. Let's go Utes.
57-74. Nice job, Mike. Nice job.
Let's go.
Let me change out because actually for the 6-shooter, I had the Michigan State play, but since we started that already, let me just add that.
By the way, I forgot halfway through that I took Ohio State out and had to think of another one on the ropes with Utah.
Hey, listen, trust me. I just did the same damn thing. I'm right there with you. Just give me 1 second, folks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I have 7 plays on here. Jesus Christ, Andres. All right, Danny, let me know when I'm ready to go.
3, 2, 1, go.
I'm going to start off where you ended off. Give me Oregon +3. I think the better team is actually the underdog here. I don't believe in the Utah hype. That's a public money bet, and folks do not follow that. Next, give me Rutgers, Penn State under 46.5. Big Ten offenses suck, and Big Ten defense is really good. Need to say more. Next, give me Illinois +12.5. Iowa is not a top 25 team. They rely on turnovers over a very good defense to mitigate an anemic offense. So give me Illinois +12.5. Next, I'm riding with Danny as well. Give me Mizzou +8.5. I think this game actually Mizzou might win this because of their offense, but give me the 8.5 points. Next, give me Oklahoma State -10 because that is probably that is top 5 team in the country, and they should be honestly in the PFP because they're the best team in the Big 12. And to end off, give me UVA +14.5 because Pat Narduzzi is a sub 250 win percentage when he's a 2-touchdown favorite, and I will always take that odds.
Ooh, 56.27.
Oh,
look at us.
Look at the big man with some quickness.
I love that Oklahoma State play, by the way. They've covered 8 straight games.
Oh, talk dirty to me. Oh, I love that. I love that play. Oh, folks.
I've been on. I mean, you know me. I've been on them. Should have been a Cowboy.
You really. I mean, yeah. I mean, I got a friend of mine. Shout out Kate Kirk. I know she listens to the show. That she actually went to Oklahoma State.
Did you say Katie Kirk?
No, Kate Kirk, not Katie Kirk. Yeah, I'm homies with Katie Kirk, bro.
I was like, all right.
One of the best news journalists of our time.
And she listens to the show. Geez, you're good.
Oh yeah, friend of the show, Katie Kirk. Well, folks, thank y'all so much for listening. I mean, we all know y'all are friends of the show too, but please, if you can, don't forget to rate, review, like, share, or subscribe either on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcast from. And also on YouTube, hit the little like button on this video. Hit the subscribe banner, to make sure you know when all our content's up. And also ding the little bell. And that's when you know we'll get new content, just as this one, whether it's going to be premiering or whether it drops newly. And thank y'all so much for everything, because without y'all, this would not be possible. And I get to love talking with Max and Dave about FSU football. Same thing with Danny. We got a little gambling betting in because, this is my homie right here, the VP to my P. But folks, take care, everybody. Go Noles, and we'll see y'all on Monday.
Tramp, shoot me a text. Let me make sure you listen.